Hi there, Robin here, and this is Harbinger's rental series, which you can also buy now because it's been so sought after. People have been renting it and going, hey, how can I buy this? Well, now it's available to buy. This happens to be the VR412, and underneath it's the VRS18. Now, most people talk about things as being good, better, and best. In this particular case, we're actually looking at loud, louder, and loudest. Which one is this? I'm going to say it's right in the middle. I'm going to go with it's louder. So if you're actually looking for the videos that are going to show you how to use it because you've just rented it or you plan on renting it, you want the most top 10 questions asked about how to set these guys up, including with mixers, have a look at the playlist that's going to be featured right up above. That'll bring you to 10 videos, which is definitely going to help you out. There'll also be a link at the end of this video. So if you're still there, that means you want to learn more about these speakers today, or you want to have the breakdown, what it's all about, how they work, how they sound, how easy are they to operate, and how can you compare these to, let's say, the 4400 or the 3400. Now remember, these are built like tanks. These are built for people who like to rent equipment and for people who like to rent out equipment. Maybe you're going to be traveling a lot with your speakers. This might be what you're looking for. Again, loud, louder, loudest. This is going to fall in the louder category. We'll figure out if it's the right one for you. At the end of the video, we'll even show you how you can learn more about renting the equipment and finding out the best stuff for you with some awesome links. Let's take a look at what we got in the bag. So first and foremost, this is the Roadrunner series of bags. Now this is going to be impressive because you're getting the bags included when you buy these speakers. Yes, you buy these speakers, you are going to get the bags. Now this isn't just some cheap cheesy bag or cloth that slides over. This is fully padded and it's got a unique trick to it. It has handles. Oh, and an amazing zipper that's going to release the whole speaker. Now watch this. I'm going to slide the speaker over a bit here because I want you to see exactly what you can do with it, okay? We're going to get the speaker right to the edge there, just like that, nice and comfortable. Now we're going to unzip it. Oh my gosh, look at this. I'm going to unzip it all the way back here. Unzip the other half. All the way back here. Now here comes the magic. Look at this. This whole flap is going to fold over, exposing the entire speaker and the bottom included. That means I grab it from the top. Watch this. Oh my gosh. It just came out of the bag. Just like that. When it comes time to put it back in the bag, you just get it down at the bottom and just fold it right back into the bag. That's it. It's as easy as that. In and out of the bag. That simple, that straightforward. I really like this bag. It's also very well padded. It's got pockets and handles everywhere you need it to be, so this way you can properly carry it. That is absolutely amazing. So again, we're going to take this out now, just like that. Lean it up, and we're going to put it on over here. Now remember, that $75 bag is included in the speakers. Now when you get the subwoofers, they also come with their pouch. They also come with this bag that's carrying the whole thing. What do we got? Branding. I love branding. Spin it around. What do we see? We see a speaker that spins around freely. The casters are included with the unit. So besides getting this bag, another $75 value, I'd say, you're going to get those $25 to $40 casters inside already pre-installed. By the way, when this gets shipped to you, if you decide to order this and you're not renting it, if you're renting it, you're renting this right here. It's ready to go. If you're buying it, it comes in a box. These boxes were shipped to me and they were shipped across the entire country, I'm going to assume, from south to north. And UPS actually had to do 2 takes to try and deliver the second one. You should have seen the state of the box. The speaker was unscratched, undamaged, nothing at all. The box looked like it had gone through a wrecking ball. It was just like completely torn apart, you know, UPS stuff, right? Not a scratch. Everything's perfect. So how do you get this out? How do you get the cover off? Well, first of all, you don't want a complicated cover, and you don't want a cover that's going to fall off easily. You want a cover that protects it, especially if you're rolling it in the rain. If there's rain outside and you've got to roll this from the hall to your van and it's going to pick up water, the amp plate's at the bottom. You need something to protect that. Well, guess what? Right here. That Velcro comes off there. I'm going to push the speaker this way just so you can see what's going on. This is the other side. Look at that. There's a full pouch that covered the bottom of the amp plate and held the cover in place, which means if you have to pick it up and move it a lot, no problem. Also, there's pull-up tabs on the side. Look at this. You got to get to those handles. There you go. Handles are right there. That's how straightforward this is. That's how smart and easy this is. There's even a pocket on the back side, and there's the pocket. That's to put your power cord, your XLR cable, anything you need like that can go in there. Let's just pull this off now, see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. There we go. The fully padded bag, speaker, flat grill so it's stackable. Very, very smart. Make the speaker stackable so this way you're not going to worry about things falling over. Very, very nice. Also makes it very good for rolling equipment in and out. It's there. That speaker was sitting on top. I had no problems moving it around that way. Great way to go. There are rubber bumpers right here. So when I tilt it, roll it over, it's going to roll over on the rubber bumpers, not damage the box. Rubber feet, casters on the back, rubber bumpers. So again, let's bring this down, bring it here. And by the way, this is an awesome way to transport your speakers. All the energy of the speakers are going straight down. No damage that way. You're not going to knock them out of whack or cause any problems with them. It's a great way to go. And there you go. So here we are. We've got the actual VR412 on top of the VRS18. Now we're using the pole, standard setup on a pole. You're looking at basically 6.5 feet. You're probably going to want to extend that to get it closer to 7.5 feet. That would be a good setup, especially if you've got people further in the back of the room. If you need to go higher, they do sell separate stands that, of course, you can crank them up easy over 8 feet plus. That's talking to the bottom, not the top. So, I mean, if we want to get this guy, we want to get this guy up to at least 6 feet. We can do that on this pole here, so we can get up here, and then we'll have that dramatically higher. If we want to go higher, you got to do a different setup. That being said, power-wise, remember I said this is louder than most speakers. Now, of course, there's always a tier above that. That's the loudest speakers you can get. But with this is going to be better than any line array that you're going to buy that's portable, regardless if it's the 90 or the 70 or any other beast out there. Because we've got a speaker package on top that's designed to do the whole job. All by itself, it can do everything most line arrays can do. Add the bottom, and we're just going to expand how much more we can do above that. So here we go. When it comes to power, you're looking at 134 and 130 or 131 on the sub. 600 watt amp, which peaks at 2400 watts. 675 divided by the two tops, which gets you to 2500 watts. But it's the dBs that are going to be your friend. That's the number you want to listen to, and you're looking at 134 versus 130, 131 on the bottom. The way you set it up, type of music you're going to play through it, that's all going to define a lot when it comes to what this can do. And of course, the space, size, and setup of everything around you is going to determine what's going on here. So for example, if I'm doing a wedding, yes, very appropriate for, 150 to 250. I would probably want more power, more energy, depending on the type of crowd or where the wedding is or what their expectations are. You may need more if you want to get into like 400 or 500 people. That's how it works. Same thing, if I was going to do a gymnasium or a hall for a high school dance, I'm going to want to have, 4 to 6 subs at the bottom. Easy. And I'm going to want to have at least 4 tops, for sure. That's how it works when you're dealing with 600 kids. You need more. So you can certainly rent the extra equipment, or you can decide to be the person who owns a lot of equipment. So if you're looking for the mid-tier power output, the louder speakers that you're going to buy out there, these are definitely going to fall into that category. Let's first talk about the fact that we've got a speaker here that's designed based on the V4400 and the V3400 combined to create this. Now there's no app for this, which is very important because you do not want an app. You want to be able to use this speaker without assistance. Ready to go, good setup, straightforward operation, and very important, I was asked this question not too long ago, and I've mentioned this a long time ago, but in this particular case, I'm going to bring it up. It's if you're visually impaired, or you're going to use this in a dark space where you're going to have to make adjustments, this speaker is very unique. Now, I've mentioned this when I've seen this before, but this has been the best setup yet. These actual dials, these buttons here, these knobs that we can call them, are very textile. It has a full raise on them. So if I actually pulled one off and got it close to the camera, we give you a profile shot of that. I hope you can see that. It's literally, I can hold on to that. It's got such a distinguished setup for the dial, which is really, really nice. So I'm going to give them kudos on that. I do like that. if you're visually impaired, just so you know, the dials, of course, being round, they have a slot in them so you can actually hold the actual position of where it's going to be, and you can actually feel the part that points upward so you know where it is in reference to where its position is. The switches are three-way switch positions for mic, guitar, and for line. So you've got your low and high Z connections there, and you've got your mic setup. It's very easy across both input 1 and input 2. Input 3 gives you that left-right quarter-inch option along with the 3.5. Now, you might blow over this 3.5 real fast, but remember, this is a high and low impedance system setup when it comes to quarter-inch jacks or XLR inputs and a consumer-grade audio piece of equipment. These are not the same when it comes to sensitivity, how their voltage and amperage is set up internally for these guys. So having this right here, that's saving you a couple of $100, and nobody ever talks about that. If you want to hook up a projector, or you want to hook up a CD player or any external audio source, and you need to go straight into the speaker, this 3.5 is your money saver right there. It's going to give you the best performance because it's going to match the audio input of this speaker with the audio output of your CD player, your straight off the computer setup from a headphone jack, or from, you know, your projector or TV. Really good. And then they put Bluetooth on top of that, so this way everybody is very happy and finding everything they want to have. It's right here. Easy enough. Now, on top of that, you do have your standard bass and treble setups, and they even give you options on top for your voice and audio, the sound setup of the speaker. So if you're going to run the speaker at 50% or less, and you're going to do some bass and treble adjustments, but you really just want to set it up for speech or for a club setting or a standard mode, which is how I 90% of the time run the speakers, is going to be standard mode. If you're running as a floor monitor, guess what? There's an option for that. Put it in floor monitor mode. If you want to have a subwoofer cutoff because you put a subwoofer in the bottom and you want to maximize volume out of the top so you're not hitting that limiter, hit that button right there. So these 2 quarter-inch input jacks can be balanced or unbalanced. If you go into here, you have the option to now use that link out option. Really quick and easy to make a stereo connection between the 2 speakers. Why? Because it has a routing option right here, which goes between a mono setup, a stereo setup as a master, and a link option if it's the second speaker. Pretty cool. Again, power of the 4400 with the feature package and ease of use of the 3400. Very smart. So again, no LCD displays to get complicated over, no complicated setups. Very straightforward. And I might have gotten the power ratings wrong before, so I'm going to repeat them. This speaker here has 130 dBs, which is 675 watts of energy required. Wattage means nothing on speakers today because it's all about how efficient the amplifier is. Think of an LED bulb. An LED bulb that's only 9 to 11 watts is just as bright and shines just as strong as a 100-watt incandescent standard light bulb that you used to have. They give off the same amount of light, one just does it 10 times better when it comes to efficiency. That's how these guys work. So let's not get too wrapped up in the wattage, and let's talk about the sound quality. Well, when the amp generates all that power for you and you make your setups here, that's going to come out of the actual 12-inch woofer in the front, and that's part of their XR series. Now, the XR series basically is a fancy word for, and it's got extended range. So it's going to reproduce the low frequencies better than it used to. It's a better driver overall when it comes to maintaining temperature and not overheating. So this way we're not going to distort or ruin the sound or even have a meltdown because we've blown the driver. The tweeter on this unit here is part of their top end series. It runs their actual peak driver series when it comes to the tweeter. That's the polyether ether ketone material tweeter. So that tweeter is going to give us a silky response. So it's not going to feel sharp and harsh like we do out of any metal-based materials when it comes to a tweeter horn. So that's like the aluminums or the titanium style tweeters. They're good, but they are a little harsh when it comes to the high sounds. Like it's just, a lot of people are uncomfortable with it. Now when it comes to frequency response, you're looking at a 35 to 22 kilohertz all on its own. the top. We're not talking about the sub, just the top here. So it's going to do a good job all by itself. Now remember, if you're pushing that much low frequency into the speaker, you're going to be limited in your overall volume, of course. The coverage pattern, so that means how spread out the sound's going to come out for this actual driver in the front. You're looking at 85 horizontally, so that's across the room, with a 65 vertical. So when you drop it as a monitor, it does have one side that's tapered, so this way you can definitely get that sound up to you, and it's going to sound really good because it's not going to fill the entire room with a lot of sound that you don't want to have. Smart design. There's going to be a group of videos where I talk about how to set these speakers up. There's a full 10 video list just to help you get through all of that, including hooking it up to the subwoofer. So now we're going to take a quick look at the back of the VRS18. Now remember, this was 600 watts RMS with 2400 watts peak power. Also has a frequency response of 35 to 150 kilohertz. And that's going to do a great job at any of your next big shows. Now, again, with this, the important thing is what you can do with it. You've got options on the back. We're going to go through a lot of details on the how-to in the actual how-to video. So again, at the end of this video, you'll see a full playlist on how to set up this equipment properly with everything else you've got. But more importantly, we've got two inputs. So if we want to run it as a single or a double, we can bring both our lines in here and then bring it to our top, or vice versa, depending on how you like setting up your equipment. Now, important, we've got reverse. So if you're renting 3 of these guys and you need one to cancel the bass on the actual stage, you've got the ability to run this in reverse. That's what that's great for. Canceling bass on the actual stage, but it requires 3 of them to do a good job. Now the next one here, this is level. This is important too, because this is going back to our line aux. So again, when you're looking at setting this up for your mixer equipment and all that kind of stuff, having it at +4, any professional piece of equipment that's going to be hooked up via the 1/4 inch or the XLR, and it's coming from a 1/4 inch or XLR output on the equipment you have, that's going to be your +4. Everything else is going to be your aux. Think of your 3.5, that's got a headphone jack, or the old, CD players, projectors, TVs, stuff like that. That's going to be your audio source, your laptop, straight off the headphone jack. That's where you're going to want to be having that set up for. You'll notice the difference in the bass response and the overall volume. One is going to be much more responsive than the other, and the quality of sounds will be much more accurate. And remember, these systems don't just adjust the actual amperage or volume setting. This is basically a combination of voltage and amperage that's done on a micro level to make sure everything is sounding just right. The volume or level control, they mark it as straight up volume. It's very straightforward. You're going to be setting that up accordingly. We do have a USB, so if you're going to use some wireless tech, you can have that properly plugged in so it's constantly getting power. And again, we've got outputs. We've got a time alignment. This is so you can use it with a meter. Place the meter in the represented best spot in the room. So if it's a dance floor, you kind of go in the center of the dance floor area, that sort of thing. And it allows you to adjust this weighted, so set it to C. That's what this button's for. And adjust your volume on top, adjust your volume on the bottom, and then dial this up. And what happens is someone's going to tell you, pause every once in a while, have a cycling actual bass response, so a frequency coming in at around, let's say 35 hertz to 150 hertz. You can get those on YouTube and just play it off a phone if you want. And when you're cycling through that, you're going to realize that by doing small adjustments here, you're going to increase the overall volume performance between the top and the bottom just by making this adjustment here. So you don't have to if you don't want to. Leave it down at the bottom, you'll be fine. But if you want to get really technical, get yourself a meter, put that in the middle, have somebody tell you when it's better or worse, or you go back and forth and do small increments. Just give it a 1/4 turn, go check it out, go all the way to the other side, check it out, listen to that cycle. Are you doing better or worse? Find that magical spot that's going to do a good job for you and you'll be all set. The last one's crossover frequency. They even give you a speaker chart here as well, 12 to 15, so 70, 80, 90, 100, 12 to 15, and basically you're introducing more bass into the subwoofer as you go up, and depending if you're running an 8 or 10, you're all the way down here, and full range, so everything that this speaker can accept or handle will come through here, no problem. And there you go, again, wooden box, wheels, bag, everything you need is all here. The driver's set up an 18-inch really, really well. We're gonna flip this back on top, and we're all set. Now what you want to do is take a closer look at that actual playlist that I have, where it shows you everything in great detail. If you want to learn more about this, hit that link right there. Look at all those other videos. See what you think. If you got questions or comments, leave them down below, and hopefully you like in this video.